I'm joined by University of Central Oklahoma wide receiver Christian Romero. Christian, thank you for taking time this evening to come on and talk to us. Could you start by telling the viewers and listeners a little bit about yourself?
My name is Christian Romero. I'm from West Texas. I went JUCO out of high school, and now I'm at UCO.
Now, I talked to several of your teammates that are also from Texas. They've talked about what playing high school football in Lone Star State means to them. What was your experience? What did playing high school football in Texas mean to you?
Yeah, I didn't play in the around Dallas area. I played in West Texas, so out there, I could say it's very physical in the way they played out there, and it's a pretty big deal over there, and it's a different atmosphere. So one thing I could call it is it gets you physically and mentally ready for college.
And when I was watching your high school tape and even your JUCO tape and into the season, you're somebody that uses your frame well. I feel like sometimes you get your taller, lanky receivers don't really play to their size. There were several clips of you kind of like shielding yourself away from defenders, making contested catches, making catches in traffic. What kind of goes into that, being able to use your height, use your size as an advantage?
It's a big factor for a guy like me because even in high school, a lot of the DBs I went to were really small. So using my length and my speed, I have long arms too, so I can catch the ball far out from the defenders. That helped me a lot too. But it helps me make big plays and catch balls outside of my range.
And when making the catch in traffic, because it can't be easy. Sometimes the defenders try to go over your back. Sometimes they just go up and fight for the ball with you. How are you able to bring those down more often than not?
One of the big things is working on having strong hands. And when the DB hits my arm, if we both catch at the same time, just hold the ball as tight as I can and work on grip strength. And doing that helps me bring the ball down.
And what kind of all goes into strengthening your hands, strengthening your grip?
Man, I could say, when I was younger, I had one of those grip machines, and I would do that a lot, and then fingertip push-ups, and then really just catching the ball every day and getting a feel for it. That's really it.
And another thing I noticed too is you do a good job of accelerating at the top of your route. I think I mentioned this, maybe it was about Terrell, but it's almost like a jog until you get to a point, and then you just turn on the burners, and the separation is just like immediately. How are you able to accelerate that quickly when you hit that part in that route that makes you separate so widely from most of the defenders that you face?
Yeah, that's something I work on, tempoing my routes, because if you're just running fast all the time, sometimes the DBs know how to play that and step in the way when you're doing that, or if you're going too slow, they know how to read that. But what I try and do sometimes is tempo my routes. So sometimes I'm very fast. I'm very fast, so I won't run at them full speed, and then basically right when I break, I'll run full speed, and they won't be ready for it.
And as when I was doing research here, I did not know that you were a track and field guy as well. It's like, okay, well, this is making sense now. How he's able to show that immediate burst, track and field guy. So how was being in track and field? How did that help you from a football standpoint?
It helps a lot, just running all around the year and doing sprints. And I did hurdles too, so I feel like that helped me athletically. But honestly, just working on my speed all throughout the year.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now you mentioned that you did hurdles. Now that's no easy task. So like, talk about like what kind of is the hardest part of being a hurdler?
Honestly, I'm not going to say it was really hard. The biggest thing is really just the fear of it. You know what I'm saying? Everyone has that fear of like when they do hurdles of falling. And that's happened to me before. I fell in the track meet before. But yeah, once you get through that fear, it's not really that hard. Mm-hmm.
So like, now because like that, see, you say that, but then you watch it, and I'm like, you gotta be. I mean, you gotta clear it, and then you gotta like sprint to the next, clear it again. I mean, that's kind of a hard thing to do, like in succession, like that. So, like, were you just natural at it, or like, how long did it take for you to get comfortable being a hurdler?
You know, I didn't plan on being a hurdler, but when I was in junior high, they were like, you're really long and tall. So, you know, you'll be real good at hurdles. And I decided to try. And ever since then, it's stuck from there.
And I guess has any aspect of being a hurdler also helped you on the football field being a wide receiver?
Um, Not much really, but honestly, like I said, it's just helped with my speed a lot. You know, working on hurdles, working on jumping all the time. I haven't got a hurdle yet in the game. I need to get one of those, but yeah, honestly, it just helped on my speed doing track all year round.
And another thing too, I noticed when I was, especially when you first signed, I was watching your JUCO tape. You do a really good job around the side. That's an area I feel like it's easy to get lost. You know, making sure you secure the catch with the 1 foot in bounds. How are you able to make such tight catches around the sideline and able to secure the catch and keep a foot in?
You know, it's really just focus and catching a lot of balls outside of practice. Like even at UCO, all throughout the summer and after practice, I was catching 100 balls a day, and just knowing where you're at on the field and getting those 2 feet in. But yeah, the biggest thing I'd have to say is focusing on the football when they throw it, because if a DB, you know, swipes his hand at the ball and you miss the ball for like 1 second, if you're really focusing on it, you're gonna make the catch.
So you're focusing on the catch, but then like you, and then how at the same time, I guess, are you able to make sure you keep that foot in? Because I imagine it might be kind of easy if you're focusing on fighting off the DB, actually making the catch, to then also make sure, oh, let me get this foot in bounds. How are you kind of able to do all that in that split moment?
Yeah, just knowing where you're at on the field. You know, every route I run, I know where the DB's at, and I know where I'm stemming him from the field. And one of the biggest things is when I'm running a route, I don't want to get too close to the sideline, because if I do, then it'll be hard to stay in bounds. But yeah, just keeping an eye on that and focusing on where the ball's leading me, just to yeah, put 1 foot in, or if I can even better get 2 feet in.
Now this is good because now this is kind of it's a running gag at this point. But we talk about being aware on the field. I'm gonna need you to please. I don't know if you can show Mosley the way, do something here, because and back in 2022, I don't know if Mosley had a wide open pick six against Washburn. I mean, not a soul in front of the man, and he goes clear as day out of bounds. And you're sitting there like, what? There was not a receiver inside. It just was open grass. And you see him like he's running and he's veering and he's veering and he goes out of bounds. You're just like, what are we doing? So you could just, I don't know if you could teach him your ways about knowing on the sideline, running close to the sideline. Because JK did that against Curlee. He had to pick a near the sideline. He stayed in bounds and got the touchdown. I was just like, I just like, so yeah, you just enlighten him about that would just be great, because then last year against Washburn, men went out of bounds again. I was like,
Yeah.
he was a receiver in high school. That's the sad part. It's just like, bro, how are you this unaware of the sign? I don't know. So yeah, you just enlightened the man would just be fantastic, because that's, that's right.
Yeah, I got you.
Huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's funny because we were talking about
So
that. Oh yeah, we were talking about that, and we are on him for it. And then he ended up making for it. I think it was against Lincoln. He ended up getting it back. So yeah.
well, okay, and then now I guess as a receiver, like, is there any? I'm sure there is, but like, how much ribbing when a DB drops the interception? Because I'm sure some of the guys are like, "Oh, we could probably play receiver. We've got the hands," and then you see him drop like what to you would be a fairly easy catch. Like, is there any kind of like ribbing that goes on after that? Like, you because like I thought there were times last year it was in the hands and we dropped. And I'm like,
Yeah.
see, for all the ones that like Jalik claim they have great hands, when if the ball hits their hands, they're making the catch, and then to see it hit the ground, like, is there any kind of ribbing at all about that, or are you just more upset that you just dropped the turnover?
Man, honestly, DBs are kind of like receivers that can't catch, but they work on it every day, and yeah, those are the plays they have to make. And this offseason, they've got a lot better about it. They really have. They've got the ones that come their way that are right to them. They've been catching it.
This is good. This is this is a very good sign
Yeah,
because when we had too many of them last year. I'm just like, bro, how
yeah.
are we? And most of them were receivers, and you're just like, how are we? Okay, okay. Now when you look back on your high school career, what kind of stands out to you the most?
Honestly, just the atmosphere. I don't know if you know, but Midland Lee, and I went to Midland Lee, and Midland Lee versus Permian is the true Friday Night Lights. And yeah, a lot of our games that we had were just the stands were just packed, and there's honestly nothing like it. And yeah, it's just different over there. Everybody's physical, and it gets you mentally ready for college. And I feel like that aspect has got me ready for college the most.
So after high school, you end up at Navarro. So how do we go from Midland Lee to Navarro?
Oh yeah, it's Navarro, but
Oh,
so oh no, you good, you good. But you know, with COVID happening when I was in high school, the goal was to go Division 1, but they combined the class of 2020 and 2021, and so a lot of coaches had stopped talking to me back then once COVID happened, and basically I had a few offers, but I really just wanted to bet on myself, and that's why I ended up going to Navarro.
and I talked to several guys that also were junior colleges. Obviously, last chance you was the thing. How would you describe your JUCO experience? What was it as crazy as a last chance you made it sound, or was it more like my experience at Rose was kind of boring? To be honest with you, so like what was your JUCO experience like?
Some days it really was like last chance you was. Uh it really tested you mentally and physically. But the thing with going there, you just really have to put your head down and know you're not going to be there forever, and just go in there with a good mindset and work as hard as you can to get out of there. And yeah, it was pretty boring. All JUCOs are out in the middle of nowhere, so there's nothing to really do except just go out there and work. But yeah, that's the mindset I had when I went.
And you managed to play in 9 games as a freshman. What kind of did that mean to you, being able to get acclimated enough to the collegiate level to appear in 9 games as a freshman?
You know, going from high school to college, the transition, the speed is a lot different. So honestly, getting to be able to do that early and being able to play, I feel like it gave me a head start as a freshman being able to do that. So that aspect of getting used to the speed of the game, um, it engraved with me a little bit faster than others.
And you were, I don't want to say one of the rare ones, but you were able to be one and done at the JUCO ranks. How are you able to so quickly move on from Navarro to where you are now at UCO?
Honestly, I really planned on going to Navarro another year, and then UCO hit me up. I talked to Curlee, and honestly, they were just really welcoming. I came on a visit, and man, what you see like when you meet them in person is the same thing you get on the field and in practice. Coach Doro, Coach Curlee, and all the other coaches are just a group of great guys, and they took me in, and honestly, we're all family. And yeah, like I told you, I planned on going to JUCO another year, but when I came on my visit, it was just such a great visit that at the end of the visit, I just ended up committing that day.
Did it shock you that you were able to find your home, I guess, so quickly into your junior college journey?
Yeah, it was. But honestly, when I went to back to when I went to visit UCO, just seeing the facilities and the history of UCO, its winning culture, it really stuck with me, and I wanted to be a part of that.
And you mentioned Coach Curlee being a big part, obviously, as you're a position coach. But what is it like playing for Coach Curlee?
Man, Coach Curlee is he's a great receiver coach. He helps me a lot. Even outside of football, he's like a best friend to us. And, me being a receiver, he helps me with everything that I do wrong. And he's pushing me every day. And that's why this season, I feel like I have to, give that back to them too for all that they have put into me. I have to, put it out there for them. And yeah, Curly has improved me as a receiver tremendously while being here. He knows a lot. He does.
And you mentioned, the adjustment when you went from high school to junior college. What was the adjustment like going from junior college to UCO? Like I know when you mentioned earlier that speed was a difference between high school and junior college. What kind of was the major difference for you going from junior college to UCO?
Honestly, there wasn't too much of a difference. One thing I feel like I needed to focus on going from junior college to UCO was just really working on my hand violence. When I'm running around and the DB, uh, uses their arm to try and slow you down a little bit, just knocking it down or knocking it down off the line. Yeah, I would say that's the biggest thing.
And last year was a deep receiver room. There was a lot of talent. You were able to carve off a niche, um, fairly early. How are you able to come in there and carve out a role amongst the talented room that you were in?
Honestly, it was just really just trusting the process and putting it in God's hands. I come to work every day, and like I told you in JUCO, I'm doing the same thing as I did as when I was there, and just making plays every day in practice and making each day and each rep count and getting 1% better every day.
And I think you broke out on a lot of people's radars, mine included, in the Central Missouri game. Obviously, not a lot went right in that game, but you had 5 catches for almost 60 yards. I think you had a nice long gain over the middle of the field. I think that was the first time where people really
Mhm.
noticed you. what was working for you in that game?
We had talked about it before, and during the game. The big catch that I had that you seen, the DB came down to press, and we've talked about that in practice and what we're going to do in the game if they do that. And before the play, I had a great feeling Dawson was going to throw it to me, and we just connected on it, and putting my faith in the quarterback's hands to trust me to make plays, and that's basically what happened that game.
It's funny. It's funny you mentioned Dawson because then I can't remember. I think it was the next week was the employee game. Again, you stuck out to me there. You had your season-long 42-yard catch. I think you had a catch on the sideline that was very impressive. What was working for you there?
Right there, really just making the most of each play. Some games I didn't get a lot of targets. Some games I did, but really just every time the ball's thrown to me is just to make the most of it.
And you also got, I think, a couple of jet sweeps this season. I think you got a season-long 17-yard run against Emporia. Now that's obviously different than running after the catch because it's a straight handoff. What kind of what kind of is the major difference between getting a sweep for you as opposed to a catch and run?
Getting the sweep is really just making the first man miss. There's going to be that one man that's right there, and once you break away from him, that's a 10 plus yard gain. And that's basically the difference from, honestly, with catching the ball is the same thing too, make the first man miss, but on the sweeps it's more crucial because we run them on third downs and 2nd and 5, and I need to push through to get that first down.
And then your lone touchdown, I granted it was a heck of a touchdown, came in the battle for the President's Cup. So the first I gotta ask, what was how would you rate that experience? Your first President's Cup was the closest one in probably about half a decade. What did it live up to what you were told about the rivalry going into that game?
Yeah, it really did. And that was a big deal for me because it was to win the President's Cup, and it was also my first touchdown. So, it was really special to me, and just to put forth and help the team win, that was the biggest thing to me.
And the touchdown, I'm not gonna lie. When you caught it, I was like, okay, well, I think we got the first down, and then you kept fighting, and I'm like, okay, are they gonna bring him down? There's 3 defenders, there's 4 defenders, and he's still fighting, and he dives for the end zone. I was like, oh, did they give it to him? And they did. I was like, okay, I didn't. Christian's so different here. I didn't know we had that in them there. I was just like, dang. I was like, now is this Christian or is this Steph? Because I've never seen the fight around the goal line there. I was like, dang, this is impressive now. So how were you able to literally will yourself into that end zone?
Man, like I said, that was the first touchdown of my college career. So I was like, when I hit the first dude, I was like, I got to get this. I'm just going to keep fighting and pushing as hard as I can to get it. I got to get this. And that was my thought process through it.
That's impressive because sometimes, you keep fighting and you lose the ball. I mean, that was a heavy crowd there. I mean, what kind of were the emotions once you crossed that goal line for the first time, knowing it's only your first score, but it's a score in a rivalry game that ultimately helped you all win that and keep the cup in Edmond for a 9th straight year?
Man, it was hype. I mean, I had to go celebrate with my team because I couldn't have done it if it wasn't for them. The O-line blocking, the quarterback getting me the ball, but it's really my thanks to them for trusting me to make a play.
And throughout the season, you mainly played with Steph and Dawson. What like now? How as a receiver? Because I know that quarterback receiver dynamic is important, kind of knowing how they might want a route ran, and you knowing how they throw a certain route, a certain ball, kind of going between the two quarterbacks. What what kind of is the challenges in that? Because I imagine Steph and Dawson are obviously two different styles of quarterback, but I'm sure there are probably differences in how they liked routes ran and how they threw the football.
Yeah, that's true. Chemistry is really the biggest thing, and it was tough at first. When we started switching back and forth, but once we played with each of them for about a game, we transitioned really well. We did, because I get, every day in practice, we're used to the quarterbacks. And even before that, we're throwing with the quarterbacks outside of football in the summer. So that helped us a lot transition.
And when you look back on this past season, you finished with 16 catches for 229 yards and one touchdown. What how do you feel like you did? Did it live up to what you were hoping to accomplish? Your first season, was it disappointing? How kind of do you feel about your 2023 season?
Truly, it didn't go as I wanted, but you know, that's how it went. I put my trust in Curlee and Doral to you know um I put my trust in Curly and Doral to call the best plays they can, and basically anytime it's thrown to me just to make a play for them. And all I could do is control the controllables. And we had Steph, who was a great runner, and giving him the ball was big for us because we knew he could make plays too. But I trust Curly and Doral and their offense. They do whatever it takes to they do whatever it takes to win, and I do whatever it takes to win. So if that's running the ball 40 times a game, throwing the ball 40 times a game, whatever works. Those guys want to win, and if I get one target a game or 10, it really doesn't matter, just as long as the team wins, and just making a play every time it's thrown to me.
And now there's been some changes in that receiver room. People have gone, people have come in. I now having a year under your belt. I think you're one of three juniors in that room with Peyton Hunt and Terrell. You've got three seniors in that room. Now you're kind of looked upon as, being an upperclassman, being somebody that maybe the other receivers can kind of lean on. What kind of have you noticed from you a difference between maybe this time last year to where you are now?
Yeah, from this time last year to now, I'm starting to, I need to become a role as more of a leader. And, I'm kind of a quiet guy on the field. So that's one of the biggest things I want to work on this year is speaking up and bringing all the younger guys in because, those guys make us better. And, some of the freshmen coming in, they think, oh, they're not going to play. They're not going to go real hard in practice. I want to be that guy that brings them along with us because them going as hard as they can and pushing us makes the team better. And yeah, that's the role I want to, try and accomplish this year.
And also now being year two in the offense, having a season's worth of reps with Dawson now, kind of understanding your role. How confident do you feel heading into the rest of the off season and maybe into fall camp that you can continue to build off what you did last year and continue to help the offense have success?
Very confident. Like I said, I'm just gonna put my head in work every day, and the connection with me and Dawson has gotten better from last year moving on to this off season. So yeah, it's gonna be a great season.
And I guess what again, it's well, I guess you say this. How did spring go for you? Were you able to kind of accomplish what you set out to get done during the spring?
Yeah, spring went great for me this year. It really did. The quarterbacks and me got a real big connection this year, and them trusting me. I was able to show out. I really was, and yeah, it's gonna move on to the fall. It's gonna show in the fall, but yeah, we changed the offense some this year. We're throwing the ball more, so I think a lot of not just me, but the other receivers will get a lot of love.
So that's funny because you mentioned earlier, how it didn't matter if we running the ball 40 times a game, we win. See, that's because when you came on the visit, obviously in 2022, kind of what that was like. It was literally like dives, zones, traps,
Mhm.
step keepers, and then we hit a few screens. So now, it's funny because I feel like from the second half of Missouri Western on, we actually had more of a balanced attack. We're passing the ball. I'm like, dang, we threw for almost 400 against Emporia and Lincoln. I'm like, this is I'm like this is new because like if we were throwing for if we had like 200 yards passing back in 2022 like that, we were doing something. So to
Mhm.
so to go from that to now, I think you're in a good position. Like I talked to I remember Delso. I when he like in 2022 talked to Delso, talked to TD. They can kind of tell you like it was far and few between in terms of like non-third down, obvious we need to go down the field situation.
Yeah.
so yeah, so you're in a good spot there. So I just got because it that was um
Yeah, for sure.
um all right, so I guess do you have any goals you're wanting to hit next season?
My biggest goal is getting All American. That's my biggest goal. But besides that, the team comes first, and my biggest thing is we want to win a championship, and that's my first goal is to win games. And if All American comes along with that, it comes along. But the team's first, and doing whatever I can do to help them win is what matters.
Okay. Well, but before we get you out of here, we do this with all the new guests, kind of some more get to know you type of questions. So what's your favorite sports team? It can be any sport.
Man, you might not like this. I'm a Patriots fan. Lots of people say I'm a bandwagon, but I played. Let me tell you why I'm a Patriots fan. So when I was younger, fifth grade and sixth grade in elementary, in Pee Wee football, my team was the Patriots, and ever since then, I didn't even know the team was winning Super Bowls at the time. So yeah, that's when I first started liking the Patriots.
Okay, now that had to be interesting because now I'm sure there weren't many, if any, other Patriots fans around. You being in Texas, I'm assuming the majority were Cowboys fans.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
how? I mean, did you get trash talking in? I mean, you all did win Super Bowls, and Dallas could never get past the first round. I mean, what did you were you able? Did you get any trash talking in? I mean, like how did that work there?
I've heard it all. Deflated football. It's just the defense. Y'all's kicker saved y'all. It's just Tom Brady. Yeah, I've heard it all. I've heard it all for sure. But yeah, Dallas fans do not like the Patriots, especially in Texas. Yeah.
Now, as a Patriots fan, do we think Drake May is the answer? Because obviously Mac Jones started promising, he flamed out. Now it's Drake May's chance. I know they also drafted Joe Milton in the sixth round, but Do you think Drake May it can help turn the ship around for your Patriots?
I really do hope so, because a lot of people are saying, "Oh, he's just another Mac Jones," or we need Joe Milton to start. But he's a great quarterback, and I feel they put the pieces around him this year. They drafted a few receivers and got some O linemen, so they definitely put the pieces around him to do good this year.
Okay. You have a favorite Patriots player?
Tom Brady.
Say that's tough. I was expecting you could have said Julian Edelman. You could have said, I don't know, like Deion Branch or something.
Hey, Randy Moss up there too. Randy Moss up there too. Even though he didn't win a championship, but yeah.
Do you have a favorite receiver that you enjoy watching the most?
I'm gonna say DeAndre Hopkins is my favorite for sure. Yeah, DeAndre Hopkins.
Okay, that's kind of a name that's kind of fallen off a little bit. Okay, solid. Let's see your favorite hobby outside of football.
My favorite hobby, I'm gonna say video games.
Okay, now are we PlayStation, Xbox, or PC?
Xbox.
Oh, you're like the fourth or fifth player that has said Xbox. Now I have to, because Coach Curlee's an Xbox guy, Coach Dorwell's an Xbox guy. I think there are a couple of more. So for you, why is it Xbox over everybody's favorite PlayStation?
Yeah, there's not too many of us out there now, but yeah, I've been rocking with it since I was little. I went from 360 to the Xbox One, and I can't switch up. So yeah.
Is it okay? Your favorite game?
I'm gonna say 2K and Madden for sure.
Okay. Now on the Madden front, now again, no one has confirmed this, but Mosley claims he's the best on the team. Now, I don't know if you played Mosley, you can vouch for that. Knowing Mosley in general, do you feel like that'd be an accurate statement that he would be among the best on the team?
Nah, I can't vouch for that. He's gonna have to see me first before he says he's the best on the team.
he claims he has a specific team and a specific playbook that works every time. That he will not divulge either, but that's what he claims. Now I brought this to Coach Dudley's attention, and much like you, he's very skeptical. So so okay, all right. So no one, because no one has yet to substantiate his claim. So I said every time. Now when it comes to 2K, who's your team of choice?
I'm a big LeBron fan, so the Lakers.
Okay. Now, who are you hoping they hire as their coach?
As their head coach? I mean, LeBron's the coach. It really don't matter.
Okay, let's see. Okay. So your favorite food?
I'm gonna say chicken wings.
Okay. Now do we okay, are we flats? Like which type of women going for here? Do you like bone in, boneless? Or are we flats? Like how do we normally eat the wings?
I gotta do bone in. I can't do boneless. It just tastes different, and boneless is kind of just like, I don't know, it's just like eating chicken nuggets to me. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I gotta go bone in.
Okay. Now who to you has the best wings?
The best wings? I'm gonna say Wingstop.
Okay. Yeah. I think Wingstop is severely underrated. Like to me, it's good. It's never really crowded. And they also have really good cheese fries. I mean, granted, it's just fries and they just put some amount of cheese over it. But it's okay. That's solid answer. Let's see your favorite musical artist.
I'm gonna say Lil Baby for
Yeah.
sure.
Now, okay, now now normally the only people that have different answers and this is coaches because every time it's either Little Baby, The Baby, Gunna. I think there's usually somebody says Drake in there, and I'm like, there has to be more than those 5 artists out there. So now, what is it about Little Baby that for you sets him apart from the rest?
Lil Baby, I feel like, he be talking about some real stuff. So, it's just making it out really. And I try and compare that to football. Like one of the lyrics he said, it is different when you come from zero. So I try to, think about that when it comes from, going from high school to JUCO to now where I'm at. And yeah, I guess I could just relate to a lot of things.
Okay. You have a favorite song by him?
At the moment, it's On Me.
Okay. Now, I've been told that the auxiliary cord in the locker room is not a place for the weak. If the song is bad, they will yank your phone off the cord. Now, have you been on the aux? And if so, has your phone been yanked off the cord?
Yes, it has. It has been yanked off. I was playing some Heat though, so I don't know why it got yanked off, but yeah.
Okay, now what are we calling Heat now?
Heat, every time I play music, everyone gonna start dancing, you know what I'm saying? And when people start bopping their head, it's Heat.
Okay. Who in your opinion is the worst on the aux?
The worst. I'm gonna say probably Lamb or Carney. Yeah, because I don't know what they play is just different. Like something. I mean, Carney's isn't bad. He played like alternative and like slow country and stuff. Which I mean, that's not my vibe all the time. And then Lamb, he just I don't know. It just be some random music.
The 3 names I get the most are Lamb, Carney, and Hunter. So okay, that's not surprising. Okay, who in your opinion is the best on the aux?
The best, besides me, let me think. Maybe, maybe I give it to TD. I give it to TD. Because TD listens to a lot of the music I do. So yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to think who they said is, but almost everybody says they're pretty good on the aux. I will say, back in 2022, and I give this man full credit. Noah Dobson came on here and admitted he played Justin Bieber one time, and then was like having to sneak up there to get his phone because people have been questioning who's playing Justin Bieber, and I was like, well, you should have known that was going to happen. I mean, you can't you can't. I don't know why we thought that was going to work, but okay. Let's see. Okay, you have any pregame routines that you normally do?
Pregame routines. Praying to God before the game, and then I have to say at night, before I go to sleep, I like to visualize, me making plays, me catching the ball, and I toss the ball up in the air like 50 times before I go to bed. I actually sleep with the football. Every game day, I sleep with the football in my hands. But and then before the game, just listening to some Lil Baby or whatever gets me in that mode.
Okay. Now, in terms of the gear, what kind of are the accessories that you go with? I think I remember. I know you have a towel, and I feel like you have sleeves. I could be wrong at this point, but in terms of gear, what do you kind of rock with?
Most of the time this past year, I actually wore turf tape most of the time. And that was really it. I just wore turf tape. I might wear the little turtleneck, Under Armour turtleneck, or a hoodie. And then that was basically about it.
Now, I know some defensive linemen, most notably Hunter. Yeah, they kind of take exception to the turf tape. They kind of say it's kind of for the skill positions, for kind of softer on the softer side there, because it's just some turf burns. So I was wondering, you have a rebuttal for that, as to why wearing the turf tape still does not negate your toughness on the field.
See, I don't even use turf tape for turf burns. I just wear it for drip. So that's really the only reason I wear it. So I don't know what they're talking about.
Now, who in your opinion is the drippiest in the receiver room?
I gotta go with me. But I'm gonna say besides me, I'm gonna say Jake for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, because Jake, oh wait, hold on, because Jake, he gonna go on the TikTok shop, the Instagram shop, see the new sleeves coming out. He gonna be like, "Hey, you think I should get these?" I'll be like, "Yeah." And he'll get it. So
well, that's funny you said that. I don't know if you remember. It's been like maybe it was earlier this year. He posted whether or not he should get this helmet. He had that pull up on his story for like a day. Then he comes by and was just like, "Well, unless you buy me the helmet, I'm not wearing it." So then I responded, "Then why did you put the poll up? Like what was the point of the poll if you're not going to get the helmet?" Let's see. Okay, who is the DB that gives you the most trouble in practice?
In practice, I'm gonna say none of them. None of them really.
Tough. Tough. Okay. I mean that's fair enough. That's okay. That's fair enough. Yeah, I don't know how else to really phrase that. Okay. Which one do you enjoy going up against the most?
Okay. I'm gonna say Willie. Willie's our new transfer DB, and like I told you with something I needed to work on coming into UCO was knocking the hands down and stuff, and I feel like he really pushes me that way. He's gonna try and get his hands on me to reroute me or to slow me down, and I have to really fight with him off the line and while running my route.
And then one thing I forgot now, because Coach Curlee makes this pretty evident. If you don't block, you don't play. So now talk about what was it difficult kind of having to become maybe a more proficient blocker or more willing blocker? Like what was that experience like, maybe being asked to block as like this is a core facet of your job? Like if you don't block, you're not setting the edge, you're not playing.
Yeah, it goes Yeah, blocking goes into it a lot here. I've got yelled at by Dora multiple times for, missing a block or not blocking. So, every play, yeah, I got a block, or, like you said, I'm not going to get the ball. But yeah, I try and work on that a lot too, and being physical with them. But we work on that. We work on that a lot in practice. So yeah, I've definitely gotten a lot better at that, and being locked in that even if the ball's not going your way, to still make that block, because you never know.
I guess my final question for you is what can UCO fans expect to see out of Christian Romero this upcoming season?
To expect from me is, I'm gonna put my 100% into it, and show out for the fans, do everything I can do to help the team win, and for the fans, just to come out and show us support, we need it, and yeah.
Well, Christian, I appreciate you taking time this evening to come on and talk to us. I'm hoping you have a good rest of the off season into fall camp. Anytime you want to come back on, you're more than welcome to.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Appreciate you for inviting me too.
No problem.
Yes, sir.
Oh no problem. I'm glad you came on because I had reached out to others and you got back quickly, and I was like, see, I appreciate that. I appreciate the promptness in that. So, but yeah, no, I'm wishing you the best of luck, and like I said, any time you want to come back on, you're more than welcome to.
Yes, sir, for sure. I appreciate you.
No problem. Thank you, Christian.
Yes, sir.